eNCA is today doing a focus on human settlements and land issues in South Africa. Almost 3 decades into democracy, many South Africans are still without housing. Earlier this week, a group of people was evicted from a private property in Dunkeld West in Johannesburg. And in Benoni, there's been reports of alleged racism with regards to the allocation of municipal flats. That's where we find our reporter Kaelihle Khumalo, and we'll also be crossing over to Linda Wuhlekulu, who of course is in Dunkeld. Kaelihle, a very good morning to you. You're in Benoni, of course. They say there's an alleged racism with the allocation of municipal flats. Who is, bringing up this claim of racism?
Well, that's right, Morena. So the human settlement area is a very critical one in this country, and we know that with a massive backlog, there's a lot of issues to be tackled there. But so we've got an opportunity to speak to the residents there. So in terms of that particular allegation, so it's a very isolated incident. So we've been able to establish that. But of course, we do have the MMC for Human Settlement here in Ekurhuleni, Mr. Lesiwampia, just to try and give us a clarity. So MMC, quite startling allegations have been made about the racism in terms of the rental allocation in that particular area in Benoni. You are giving me like a proper clarification about how exactly is this happening, but can you just shed a small light as to what exactly is at play here?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. We can assure the South African public that there is no racism instituted, at least from the part of the city, on our rental complexes or on our tenants. So what would have happened is that Actonville is predominantly an Indian area. So for over time, there has been people who have been staying in those particular rental facilities for the longest of time, and they have been paying what is called an economic rate. And you find that when life progresses, someone leaves the unit, the person who comes in, because of the evolution of time, the evolution of the agreements, there's now a market-related agreement that he has got to get into with the city, and that causes a disjuncture between a person who's paying an economic rate and a person who's paying a market-related rate. We have since taken an item to council to normalize and uniformize that and ensure that even our premiums, as they increase per annum, they are reduced, so that they actually reduce the burden of our tenants. But we can safely say that council has approved an item where the rentals will be equal, where the person who's paying an economic rate and a person who's paying a market-related rate would now be of one. The rental is going to be one, and we are going to take it forward. This has then assured the people of across the city who are occupying our rental complexes that they are not discriminated against each other.
And just once again, MMC, the issue of backlog. We know that it's a massive challenge. Yeah. In as far as Ekurhuleni is concerned, how are you doing on that score in terms of reducing the backlog in your housing?
Yeah, you would have known, Kaya, that when we took over in 2016 as the 6th administration, the first mayoral speech, the maiden speech, the state of the city of His Excellency Councillor Mzandile Masina, we would have made a commitment that we are going to deliver 100,000 houses and 59,000 service stands. Now, put against that, we have produced an output of about 39,000 service stands and 42,000 houses. We have slightly missed the target, and owing to, of course, availability of budget, you would know also that we have recently been overcome by COVID. But we can tell you now that the services, the services that we have put in the ground, if in any given time, we can be able to put up even over 200,000 housing opportunities of social housing, of RTP and PNG walk-ups, of fully bonded houses. We have that capacity now. We have bulk that can give yield to that specific output. So this is an indication that as a city of Ekurhuleni, we have been committed in reducing the backlog. We once held a record of the city that has the biggest informal settlement, 119 of them. We have since maintained that rate. It has not gone up an inch. And the quality of life of people living in those informal settlements has slightly improved because we have electrified the informal settlements, 44 of them, and we've since done what you call reblocking, which is a habitability program that makes the quality of life of people who are living in informal settlements better. But we have also since reached out to those that are staying in the backyards. You would understand that in households in the township you find 4 generations. We have gone and said to those people, you are equally our priority. Those that have been on the register dating as far back as 1996, 1997 remain our priority. We are mitigating against the backlog and we are doing the best we can.
Okay, and just quickly, MMC, the issue around the conditions in some of these municipal flats.
Yeah.
So a bit of concern there. So how are you improving conditions?
Well, you would know that the Gauteng City Region Quality of Life Survey has actually, scientifically, the people of Ekurhuleni themselves have indicated that the quality of life has increased. We have basic water, we have basic ablution facilities, even though in other instances they are interim, because we are, creating a migration where people will migrate from interim products and been taken to, their permanent products. So the quality of life has increased, and that is why we are even saying that even people who stay in informal settlement. I had a meeting today where the informal settlement of Msholozi was extremely excited, not because immediately they are being given services, but because they are continuously engaged on how they are going to be participating in the rollout of their services once we have budget. We've given them timelines. We've involved them in the roadshow that we are going to do in the and this is our life. This is what we breathe and eat on a daily basis. We don't have a weekend. We don't have a holiday. Any opportunity that we find, we go to the ground, speak to our people and say, look, there are plans to actually improve your lives. These are the timelines. Please bear with us as we roll out your services.
All right, MMC, thank you so much indeed for your time. So that was the Human Settlement MMC here right in Ekurhuleni, really talking about their plans, but also denouncing that they are having any policy that is discriminatory racially in terms of the rental in one of the areas here in Actonville in Benoni.
Kylie, thank you very much. I'm going to go